Sometimes I'm afraid I could never change. I've been through too much, I've seen too much. I don't feel shit. And worse than that, I don't know if you could change it.
The 49507 project is taking a swing at slowing down gentrification and to move around in a city where I can still see remnants of my childhood, the remains of businesses that are closed or even the essence of them been reopened as something else, and to know that even though I may never see Rib Crib again or any of these places that were staples to me on Wealthy Street, as a city changes and more people come here and grow up here, but I can still, like I said, I can still feel the remnants, and what we're doing with this project is prolonging the availability of those remnants or those things that make us feel connected to the neighborhood. And so businesses may not be accessible, but we are making the sides of their building accessible to artists, and it puts forth this beautiful vision that makes us maybe feel a little bit more ownership, puts forth this stamp to say, like, okay, we may not be able to buy up the blocks yet, we may not be able to do any of this stuff yet, but we're here, and this is how we get to say we're here, is by having beautiful murals that are a reflection of the people who live there and who are the people who are trying to stay.
This year was harder because more people knew about it. So more people wanted to be involved, more people had opinions. And also, I think that the more intentional you are with a project like this, the more critical people are going to be of it. There's not a lot of organizations, there's not a lot of businesses, there's not a lot of entities that really focus on investing in Black and brown and queer folks. And when you are hyper-intentional, one person's intentionality can come off as another person's discrimination. And now the language that was used to protect us is now weaponized against us from being as intentional as it really is going to take for true equity to come to light. And I think that this project is an example of the type of work that needs to be done not only at an artistic level, but also as an economic level and with enterprise and with education and with all different sorts of investment if we're really going to make our city, our country, our society as equitable as it needs to be after the decades of injustice that Black and brown folks have experienced.
I think a sense of pride. A lot of people have talked about the murals, which is great. I've seen people or heard people talk about just like having art in the community and representative art and people getting excited about the murals. I think also it gives a chance for the South Side to be almost like a bring in people, bring in tourists. I don't want to call them tourists per se because some of the people coming in will be from Grand Rapids, but bring in people that might not venture into the South Side to come over to the South Side and to really like show that there's value here and that, you know, we have something worth coming for and staying for. And so I think Project 49507 brought something more to that because it connected all these businesses with these murals, and these businesses were already here, but they weren't maybe as showcased or known. And so these murals now kind of give a purpose in a way, like, oh, people want to come to see the murals and then they stay for other reasons as well. And so it, I think, just really like allows for more community interaction with businesses.
By continuing to show people just how beautiful our neighborhoods are, and that this art is a reflection of the people who live here, especially in an area and areas that are being rapidly gentrified. Having art that represents folks, that makes them continue to feel welcomed in their own spaces when certain businesses and other things coming in might make them feel less welcome. So that's something that I hope will continue to happen as this project continues to grow and people continue to be educated through the placards that have the QR codes where on the murals where folks can in the moment learn about where they're standing and how that area was zoned in the 1930s when they were doing the lending maps, and can see the inequity of the past and continue to work toward equity in the future.
In the future, I hope that this project becomes bigger. I hope that we gain more real estate to put art on and activate new spaces. I hope that, we're able to pay artists their worth, to, not that they haven't been paid their worth now, but be able to really make them feel like this is something that to aspire for even more, to give that sense of professionalism, that, artists, Black and brown artists in this neighborhood don't necessarily see. I think just having that access to like, oh man, like I have an opportunity. I get to accomplish something that I've never had even seen myself doing, and I get to get paid like a professional too. I definitely see that in the horizon. I definitely see much larger murals. I definitely see the area just growing to taller buildings, and having a lot of community support. I see it being much bigger because of the simple fact that I never see myself painting murals in the city. I never see myself being a full-time artist and succeeding at it and being able to grow as an artist. I never would have seen that coming. And so with that in mind, with that same recipe, I look at it as like, this can grow to be anything. So, I mean, however we choose to imagine it, it'll be that and more, so the possibilities are limitless.
I just hope that it outlives us. That's really all that you can hope for when you're doing this type of work, is you hope to create something that lives longer than you, and that teaches people longer than you, and that makes an impact greater than you can see. And I think that this project is going to do that, and I already know from an education standpoint as well as a community impact standpoint that those things have been happening. But I hope that people continue to talk about it. I hope that the word spreads across the country about this project, and people learn about the people who are instrumental in doing this work, and they also learn about the artists, and they learn that we have this talent here, that we have this capacity here. For far too long, people haven't invested in Black and brown folks in Grand Rapids, especially the Black and brown folks who are from the city of Grand Rapids, because there's this disbelief that they don't have the capacity and they don't have the bandwidth. And there's nobody who does community engagement better than the people who are from our neighborhoods. There's nobody who does project management than project managers who are from our neighborhoods. There's nobody who teaches young people at our schools better than young people who grew up and went through our schools. Like, there's a certain level of intentionality that I hope other organizations do mirror to continue to create something positive.
Man, any final remarks? My final remarks are to make sure you check out everybody involved in the project, man. Go check out the Diatribe on IG. That's THE_DIATRIBE. Make sure you check us out on Facebook. Make sure you also just go to our website, www.thediatribe.org. Hit the support button, man, and we can't do this without you. And spread the wealth. Spread the wealth of knowledge, man. Let them know that the things that we do in this community, we teach kids creative writing and poetry. We do a bunch of community engagement. We started this thing called listening sessions, and internally we like to call them active listening sessions, because the things that we take from the community through like surveys is that we take that information and we make sure that we put it back. So like when you think about each of these murals that you see, there are almost at least like 100 people that goes into each mural. right? And you have the artists, you have the diatribe, you have the painting companies, you have lift companies, you have your community that has said the things that they want to see. So that's students, that's teachers, and then the artist is listening to all of these people as well. And you know, out of these 15, there have been like almost 1,000 people that have helped bring this together, and a lot of people don't even realize that.